Hello everyone, welcome to our channel PH Webcam Videos. Today in this video I am going to discuss about the provisions of Companies Act 2013 with respect to the appointment of key managerial personnel. So basically this is provided under the section 203 of the Companies Act 2013 and the rules made thereunder. So we'll be firstly discussing about what is KMP and which all companies are mandatorily required to appoint key managerial personnel. So let us move with this. First of all, who is a KMP? So section 2 clause 51 of the Companies Act provides that the definition of key managerial personnel. As first of all, it includes CEO or the managing director or the manager. Secondly, the company secretary. Thirdly, the whole time director. Then the chief financial officers. And lastly, any other officer as may be prescribed. So basically, this is the exhaustive list which all persons are included under the definition of key managerial personnel. Clear? And by giving this clause 5, it is actually empowering the legislature to make rules afterwards and to prescribe any other officer under this category of KMP. However, till now there is no such person who has been designated as KMP by the notification of rules by central government. However, this gives the power to the legislature that they can include or they can extend the definition of KMP by themselves. Okay, so let us move forward and see which all companies are mandatorily required to appoint key managerial personnel. So first of all, as per section 203 and the rules which are companies appointment and remuneration of managerial personnel rule 2014. So there are following class of companies which are mandatorily required to appoint KMP. And what all KMPs they are required to appoint mandatorily? This is given under the section itself, that is section 203. So Section 2, Clause 51 actually provides with the exhaustive list of KMPs, that are the persons included under the KMP. However, in Section 203 itself, it is provided that if a company falls under the category of companies mandatorily required to appoint KMP, then they are going to appoint a certain persons as KMP, which is given under Section 203. So this becomes the specific definition, and that is why only that definition would be applicable over the companies falling under this category. So now what all companies are required? First of all, it is listed companies. Every listed company has to appoint KMP. Secondly, every other public company which is having the paid up share capital of 10 crore or more. Okay. Now, they shall have following whole time key managerial personnel. Now, who all are those key managerial personnel? First of all, it is MD or CEO or manager or a whole time director. So, either of these persons can be appointed. Then, secondly, company secretary and CFO. Okay, so basically, there are three persons which can be either one of these: MD, CEO, manager, or WTD, and company secretary and CFO. So these are the mandatorily required KMPs that are to be appointed by the class of companies, that is every listed company and every other public company which is having the share capital, paid up share capital of rupees 10 crore or more. Okay, so let us move forward. Now, there was a new insertion of rule, that is Rule 8A to the Company's Appointment and Remuneration of the Managerial Personnel Rules 2014, wherein even the company which is not prescribed under the above rule, which was Rule 8, okay, even those company and which is having the paid up share capital of 5 crore or more, then they are mandatorily required to appoint a whole time company secretary and not KMP, but only whole time company secretary. So for a company to appoint a whole time company secretary, its paid up share capital should be above 5 crore. And obviously, apart from those company which are prescribed under Rule 8, what is what is prescribed under Rule 8A? Sorry, Rule 8. It is every listed company and every public limited company which is having the paid up share capital of 10 crore or more. So other than those companies, All other company having paid up share capital of 5 crores or more shall appoint whole time company secretary. Yeah. So now let us move forward and see how these KMP are to be appointed. So first of all, KMP is to be appointed by board of directors only. Okay, and by passing the resolution. So in these resolution only the terms and conditions of appointment of KMP shall be disclosed and shall be fixed, including the remuneration of KMP as well, and they are to be appointed only through a board resolution. Clear? Secondly, if any vacancy in the office of KMP arises, then that has to be filled again by the board, and that too within 6 months of such vacancy. Okay, now, thirdly, because this is the appointment of managerial personnel, then a return is to be filed in form MR1. Okay, and that is to be filed within 60 days of appointment of the managerial personnel. Okay, this is given under Rule 3 of Companies Appointment and Remuneration of Managerial Personnel Rules 2014. However, after there was an amendment after which this MR1 is not required to be filed for company secretary and for company secretary, CEO, and CFO. So for these three categories, if a company is appointing these three categories of KMP, then they are not required to file MR1. However, for MD, manager, whole-time director, they are required to file MR1. Okay. Then, apart from MR1, for all KMPs, which form is required to be filed? Form DIR 12. Okay, and that too within 30 days. And this is given under Rule 18 of Companies Appointment and Qualification of Director Rules 2014. So, for any appointment or change in the KMP, DIR 12 is required to be filed within 30 days of such appointment or change as the case may be. Okay. And thirdly, another form which is required to be filed is MGT 14. Now, from where this MGT 14 is required to be filed, it is pursuant to Section 117, which requires certain resolutions to be filed with the ROC, and in that section and read with rules 8 of the company's meeting of board and its power, it is specifically given that for any appointment or removal of KMP, MGT 14 is required to be filed within 30 days of such appointment or removal. Okay, so basically there are three forms that are required to be filed. First of all, DIR 12 for all the key managerial personnel appointed. Secondly, MGT 14 again for all the key managerial personnel appointed. Thirdly, MR1, which is only required for managing director, whole-time director, and manager. Now, moving forward, there are certain other important provisions with respect to KMPs, which says that a single individual cannot be appointed or reappointed as chairperson of the company as well as MD or CEO of the company at the same time. Okay, so a person cannot be appointed as chairperson as well as MD or CEO at the same time. However, there are certain exception to it. So if the articles provide, then the same person can be appointed. Secondly, if the companies carries only single business, then also the company can appoint same person. Thirdly, if the company is carrying multiple business and has appointed separate CEO for each business, okay, and that too only with respect to those business that are notified by the central government, then in that case also they can appoint a single person as the chairperson and the MD or CEO. Okay, so let's say see what the what the central government has notified. So MCA has notified that the public companies having paid up share capital of rupees 100 crore or more, an annual turnover of rupees 1000 crores or more, and which are engaged in multiple business and have appointed CEO for each such business can appoint an individual as chairperson and MD. Okay, so this is the exception to the general rule which says that a single individual cannot be appointed as a chairperson or MD at the same time. Okay, however, the other conditions are required to be fulfilled. Clear? So this was notified by notification dated 25th July 2014. Let's move forward. Now, whole time KMP cannot hold, because it's a whole time. The word itself conveys that whole time can be only for a single company. So they cannot hold this position in any other company apart from the company's subsidiary company. Okay. And secondly, KMP can be the director of any other company, but that too with the permission of the board. Clear? Now, thirdly, a company can appoint person who is as a MD, who is an MD of another company only, but for one company. Okay, so if a company is if a company is appointing MD, and who is the MD of any other company, only one other company, then that appointment can also be made, but only with the resolution that is approved and passed at the meeting of the board, and that too with the consent of all the directors who are present at the meeting. And thirdly, for this resolution, the specific notice is to be given to all the directors who are in India. Okay, so these three conditions are to be fulfilled, that through a board resolution they can appoint. However, all the consent of all the directors is required. And thirdly, the specific notice is required for this resolution to be moved. Clear? Then, suppose a whole time KMP was holding the position in more than one company at the date of commencement of this act, then that person has to decide and has to choose only one company within the period of 6 months from the commencement of this act, and has to decide that for which company he wants to continue to hold the position of the KMP. Okay, so for this thing 6 months have been provided under the act. Clear? Now, let us move forward and see what if these provisions are contravened. So, in that case, there would be fine which would be applicable on company, which shall be minimum of rupees 1 lakh and maximum of 5 lakh. Secondly, on every director in KMP who was in default, fine which can extend to 50,000, and if there is a continuing default, then in that case every such officer shall be uh, imposed with a fine of rupees 1000 every day after first, during which the contraventions continues. Okay, so this was only with respect to the appointment of key managerial personnel. However, the appointment of MD, manager, and whole-time director are governed under section 196, and the remuneration of those are governed under 197 and schedule 5. So we will be discussing it in my next video in detail. So the remuneration of managerial personnel, I'll be discussing it in my next videos. So I hope till then it is clear, and if you have liked this video, then please like and subscribe. My YouTube channel is PH Webcan Video. Do not forget to share and comment on this video, as your comments are valuable, so please do. Thank you.